And let's start with the AL East. I'm curious, it's a pretty tight race thus far. Can the Rays and even the Blue Jays hang with the Yankees? Is this sustainable?
I think it is. I still like the Yankees to win the division, but I don't think the Rays and Jays are going away anytime soon. I mean, Tampa Bay, they always put together a good team somehow, some way, with usually a bunch of guys nobody's ever heard of until they get to Tampa and all of a sudden become stars. And I saw Toronto just last week in Cleveland, and they have a sneakily good team. I think at first blush you think, well, they're okay, but then you start to look. Their lineup up and down is really good. They send a quality starting pitcher out every night, and their bullpen is kind of the Achilles. And if they can shore that up between now and the trading deadline, I think they're going to give the Yankees a run too.
Yeah, sometimes we'll see these teams that are good in the regular season, but it's kind of a different animal when you get to the postseason. You almost have like three really good starters, three aces that can shut down even the best names in baseball. Like over the past few years, there's been some teams that kind of fit under this category of great regular season teams, like the Orioles back when they were actually winning games. So I'm looking at run differential, and usually this is a pretty good, predictor of success. So the top five teams are the Cubs, the Yankees, the Tigers, the Dodgers, and Tampa Bay. Are there any of those five teams that you would look at and say, okay, this is a great regular season team, but I have questions about them going into the postseason?
Yeah, I don't think any of them have great starting pitching, like you just mentioned, where if, you have three really above average starters, you have quite a huge advantage in the postseason with so many days off and what have you. But I think it's kind of wide open. I believe the Dodgers are the most talented team, but they've had so many pitching injuries this year. And even you look back to last year, and they kind of had to cobble it all together at the end with bullpen games and openers and having 8 guys combine on shutouts in the playoffs. And that's kind of a hard way to live even in the playoffs where your relievers are well rested. So that's why I think it's kind of wide open. I don't see one team that I just think, wow, if they get to October, look out, they're gonna blitz right through and beat everybody because of their starting pitching.
So, John, along those same lines, is there a team that you think, regardless of the postseason, that has underperformed in the first half that after the All-Star break could make some sort of run?
Well, the Orioles have been playing better the last 3-4 weeks. They've obviously been a major disappointment, but I don't know if they can come all the way back. I think they could maybe get into the wild card race. But again, we talk about pitching, and they just don't have enough of it. And Mike Elias, the GM, I mean, it's imperative for him to go out and get at least one quality starting pitcher, and really two. And if they do that by the deadline, then they could make a second half run. But they're definitely been a disappointment, no doubt. And that's the team to me that really jumps out. And just they won 101 games 2 years ago, and the future looks so bright. They did it with the young core of players, and now they've just gone south so quickly.
Right. So if we're talking about pitching, I feel like we have to at least mention the Phillies, what their rotation has been doing. Zach Wheeler, phenomenal, which it's a known commodity. He is obviously their ace. Then you have Christopher Sanchez, who's put up good numbers thus far. And Ranger Suarez, I think, had like a .58 ERA over like the last month or something. So when you have those three starters, which two of the three have already pitched in the postseason, are known commodities, like I said, does this give you more faith in the Phillies? Or do we need to see more out of their offense that has big names, but sometimes doesn't produce?
Yeah, their offense has been up and down. I'm not overly concerned by the offense. The bullpen is what scares me with the Phillies. Luis Alvarado suspended for 80 games. He won't be able to pitch in the postseason because he tested positive for PED. And there's really nobody in that bullpen that strikes me as somebody in October can come in high leverage situations, and you're sure going to shut the door in big situations with the game on the line. And I think I know for a fact the Phillies are talking to everyone about relievers, and they want to add 2 arms to that bullpen. If they're able to do that, and Dave Dombrowski, the general manager, he's been doing this for almost 40 years, and he knows how to make the big moves when he has to. And I think he'll get the relievers they do, and if they do, that they need, and if they do, I think it's going to be really they will be very tough to beat in October if they add to that bullpen.
We're talking with John Perrotto. He is a Major League Baseball reporter and writer for Forbes, the Associated Press, and Baseball Digest. John, the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, has been a great story this season, leading the league in home runs. Can we really beat Aaron Judge to the punch at the end of the season, or is this just a fun story until Judge takes over?
Well, I tell you what, Raleigh has quietly been a pretty good player the last couple of years, and an all-star caliber player, a Gold Glove winner, and has shown some power. And I certainly didn't expect him to have more than 30 home runs at the end of her beginning of July, but I think if it's close, I like Raleigh to win the MVP because he does play a premium position and he's a Gold Glove winner. But Aaron Judge is just so good, and I mean he's been slumping and he's still hitting like 355, 360. He's going to be awfully hard to beat over the long run, as well as Raleigh's played. I think Judge will turn it back on and have another 50-plus homer season. And if the Yankees win the division especially, that'll give them a little bit of an edge, too, when it comes to the voting.
Yeah, it feels like we have to at least mention Ohtani, and it feels like he does stuff, and now I'm not even, amused. I'm like, oh, he had another home run. Big deal. It's Ohtani. But when do we expect him to get back to pitching at a full strength where he's going, more than 2 innings? Is that in the near future?
I would say probably early August, end of July. It looks like they're going to, from Dave Roberts has been saying, it's going to be kind of a natural progression, having pitched 1 inning and then 2 and, eventually build him to 3 and then 4 and 5. I don't think they'll jump him all the way up to 5 right away. But I think, come the pennant stretch and into October, I think he'll be pretty much a normal starting pitcher. He may not go 7 or 8 innings, but I think he'll be capable going 5 or 6, which is if you get 5 or 6 innings out of him, that's pretty good. And he is amazing. He really is. I'm out of words to describe him. I don't even know what to say about him anymore. He just, it's unbelievable what he's doing.
John, is it surprising to you, or how surprising is it that we've seen a lot of these young players, from Jack Caglione to Paul Skeens last year, Jacob Mizorowski now, who are moving up through the minors so quickly, and especially Skeens and Mizorowski are dominating? Is this a new trend that we're starting to see in the sport?
Yeah, I think what you're seeing is a combination of a couple things. You're seeing more advanced instruction in youth baseball, even, going down into the lower levels. And then you get to college. And I think college baseball is as good as it's ever been. And it's really becoming like another level of the farm system for teams. These guys have play at such a high caliber. And, in a lot of cases, they've been playing at a high caliber since they were 9, 10 years old, all the way up through college. And they're really battle tested and they're ready to jump in. And, it's funny because even the best rookies, just a few years ago, you figured at least 2 years in the minors before they came up to the majors, and now it's just like a pit stop to the major leagues. But again, I think it's the advanced training. It's just the game itself is in better health overall when it comes to youth baseball, and that's filtered up to the big leagues, and especially when they all have their pink sliding mitts.
Oh, especially. Yes. That's an integral part of being in the spotlight. John, it feels like you can't.
Sliding mitt. Yeah.
Right? Like, who would have imagined that you need a mitt to slide? Like, come on, man. Be a man. Slide into second without something on your hands. It's fine. I want to ask you about the Astros, because every year it feels like it's, hey, the Astros lost some big pieces. Alex Bregman is gone. Maybe they're finally going to be out of the picture in the postseason. But once again, it feels like they're on the rise. I think they had the best record in baseball in June. And Hunter Brown looks like he is going to be a contender for the Cy Young. We have about a minute left here, John. Are the Astros going to be a postseason problem once again for the rest of the American League?
I think they could, because so many of them have postseason experience, and a lot of it. And Hunter Brown is a top flight pitcher. Framber Valdez is a very tough lefty. Yeah, they could be they could be really good. And I'll give Dana Brown, the general manager, credit. When he took over in 2023, a lot of people thought that the Astros were on the downside after they won the World Series in 2022, but here they are again. And I think they could be a dangerous postseason team, no doubt.